I'll just start off easy. What left you interested in this position?
The interest in the position comes from the review of the job description and looking at the expectations of the community. So when I saw the job description, I Googled as much information as I could and found that the community was looking for somebody who had an interest in community services and an interest in being involved in the community, and those are some of the things that fit very well into my last position, which involved community services.
Can you share a little bit about what your overall vision is for the department? Just any overall challenges or strengths that you see with the department?
Well, short of having come and had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with the department and getting the opportunity to learn the department and the community better, which is certainly more than just a day or two. I'm hearing that this department is very interactive with the community and has done a very good job of communicating with the community and being willing to listen to and work with the community. And so those are the really big strengths I see of this department that I would like to see going forward. I would be very remiss to say I have a vision of making sweeping changes of any kind. That really first initial vision is maintaining that transparency and communication that it sounds to me like this department is known for.
How would you balance backing police officers while fostering community relationships and reforming department procedures to center equity?
I missed the very first part of your question. Can you read it over?
How would you balance backing police officers while fostering community relationships and reforming department procedures to center equity?
So when you look at saying backing officers and you're looking at policies, there are best practices in law enforcement are set by an agency called CALEA. And if you are ensuring that your policies and your daily actions of your department and how they perform their duties are in line with one another, it makes following policy and backing your officers very, very easy. Because if policy is in best practice and you are following policy, then when the investigation comes out and when everything is done, you'll be able to say, we have done everything right.
What is your philosophy on school safety and police in schools?
Are you referring to the school resource officer program? I think that it is very valuable in the schools because that is that bridge in communication between the law enforcement community and the youth. And that is where relationships are established and where that trust is built. And if we have school resource officers in the schools and building those relationships with youth at a young age, then hopefully those relationships can continue on into their adult life.
I think it's safe to say that your experience here is a little bit unique to some of the other finalists. I'm curious how your expertise in psychology plays a role both in your administrative duties and just caring for the department and the community.
Well, I do have a degree, a bachelor's in psychology, and I pursued that because I wanted to have a better understanding of the way people think. And that plays into being able to look at things maybe a little bit differently than what other people in my same position might look at things. And I think that's how that plays in.
What's your experience and approach to working with community groups to deal with gun violence, particularly among youth in the community?
That is one that I'm going to pass on at this point.
Would you be talking at all about reducing gun violence within a city? We saw some of our highest numbers a few years ago. It's starting to go down a little bit, but it's still right there at that 5-year average. Can we talk about reducing and the importance of reducing gun violence?
Absolutely. I have looked at some of the practices that are going on here that are most likely responsible for reducing that. and they have a PCAT group that goes out and actively works to reduce that gun violence, and it looks like they're seeing positive results from that, and I would like to see that continue moving forward.
What approach would you take to transparency and information sharing with the public and with the media? And how have you promoted transparency in your current and previous roles?
Communication and transparency are extremely important when you're talking about communication and transparency within your own department and with the public and the media. And it's extremely important that when you have information that you can release to the public that isn't going to be a detriment to an investigation, that information be shared, especially if it is in regards to public safety or if it is going to help in solving the crime or reducing crime. You'd certainly want to have that communication and transparency. And that is something that I have within my own department, and I would like to continue moving forward.
Go ahead.
What is it about Cedar Rapids that makes it an attractive city for you in terms of wanting to be the next leader of the Cedar Rapids Police Department?
So I am an Iowa native. I have family here. I have friends here. I have an vested interest in seeing positive things happen here in Iowa. And Cedar Rapids, like I described earlier, when I was reviewing the job description as to what was being looked for the next chief here, that is what really attracted me, is that positive interaction between the community and the police department and seeing that move forward.
And going from a sheriff's department to a police department, is there any difference there that you feel would be a big change in your role as a peace officer?
Not particularly. The sheriff's office that I work for does not have a jail, so we don't have jail responsibilities. We are more a full-service law enforcement agency, but not jail, which is what a lot of people tend to think of with sheriff's offices. So not a lot of change.
Since you've talked a little bit about community services, how do you envision your prior experience in that contributing to, bringing even more of a community policing approach to Cedar Rapids?
So community policing is viewed very differently by different people. You'll have one person tell you that community policing means that your officers that are on the street are getting to know their community and working with their community. You'll have somebody else tell you that community policing means that you have a very positive community services division that gets out there and works with the neighborhood watch groups, does National Night Out, does very interactive type of services with the community. I believe that both of those things tie into community policing, and I have done those in my own work between the road patrol and administrative services and community services, and I think that will tie into being able to relay that over here and to be able to move forward with similar forward mobility.
You've been with Douglas County for quite some time. I'm curious how that experience and longevity served you in your career and what you hope to take out of that coming to Cedar Rapids.
Can you repeat that question one more time?
Yeah. You've been in the same position for quite some time. Obviously, you've chosen to stay there, I assume. Now you're considering leaving. I'm wondering what has led you to make that jump and what you take from being with the department for so long.
Well, being in one place for that long has really given me a feel for liking that little bit of consistency, and so I am looking for somewhere that I can finish my career. I have no intentions of, going anywhere else, or one of the questions that I had posed to me earlier was, how long do you intend to stay, until I retire? And the longevity in my current position shows that I intend to stay. And I have chosen to make that leap, or attempt to make that leap, because I am looking for an agency that I feel offers me growth, and I offer something too as well. And I believe that Cedar Rapids is that place.
I don't know if Cedar Rapids has specifically had a female chief in the past, but I don't think I'm speaking out of turn saying you're applying for a position that's largely male-dominated. Can you talk about the challenges you have faced, even just being offered positions like this and getting to this point?
I mean, it is a male-dominated profession. It always has been. And so I can't say that there are any particular challenges that have been more so in this particular role than just simply being a female in law enforcement.
The department employs some mental health liaisons with Foundation 2. What opportunities do you see to further enhance the department's ability to support individuals experiencing a mental health crisis?
I would want to see an ongoing relationship with the mental health liaisons that you have spoken with, and with the nonprofits that support that. I would like to see that moving forward with conversations of how that can be expanded and how we can continue to work together. There are a lot of programs out there that offer training, mental health training for officers, that I would like to see, if it's not already being done here, they're receiving those types of training, so that they also, if a liaison is not available, are better equipped themselves to handle the situation as well. But I would like to see those types of relationships to continue moving forward.
Can I ask your age and date of birth?
I am 43, and my birthday is February 11th, 1980. It is.
Technology is obviously always changing in the law enforcement field. So how do you view the future of technology in law enforcement?
Like you're saying, it's always changing. And so moving forward, there's a lot of technology that is available that I am aware that not all agencies have. And so being willing to look beyond what is right in front of us, and being willing to expand, and being open-minded in thinking about how we can make improvements. That includes technology, that includes just maybe how we do our everyday practices. But just being willing to listen to what's available, look at it, and see how it can best be implemented to better the department.
What's your message? You're about to speak with the public. What's your message that you want them to take away from you and your the offer to this job? What's your message to the public tonight when you're meeting with them in regards to this job? What do you want them to take away from it?
That I'm very honored for the opportunity to be here, that I am very honored to be considered for this position, and that I believe that this is a very great community and very great things can be done here, and that I hope that I can be a part of that, and moving forward with the collaborations between the department and the community, and just making improvements within the department and the services to the city.
How do you view the role of civilian oversight? Because we have a citizen review board here that's relatively new.
So my understanding of the Citizens Review Board here is that they have a very positive relationship with the police department in reviewing different items within the department, whether that's internal affairs or reports that they review, and that their feedback on some of that information is critical in really educating our department about what the public thinks, as well as their understanding of how the department works. And so I view those review boards as very critical in information sharing and coming to a mutual understanding between the members of that board and their communities that they represent and the police department.
Call last question. If there is one.
Is there anything you think we haven't asked that you want people to know about you?
I think you've covered it pretty well.